I can't make this shit up even if I wanted to. But on the real, I don't make nothing up, you know what I mean? I give y'all nothing but straight unadulterated facts, you know what I mean? Pure unadulterated facts. Now look at here, man. Look at here. Look at the zone. The zone came into the game preaching, trying to convince people that the pay-per-view model is dead, okay? They try to tell us that pay-per-view is dead, and y'all some dummies if you're paying for pay-per-view, because the zone is offering these package deals, $100 for the year, okay? Now look at here, man. Look what do we have here? This Canelo and Callum Smith fight is happening this weekend, December the 19th, on DAZN. But look what DAZN is on. DAZN is now talking about the fight. Do you remember how DAZN came into the game with Canelo in their first commercials, talking about pay-per-view is dead with Michael Buffer? Well, 2.5 years into the game, looks like DAZN has to change their business model and their business plan. You know what I mean? They have to adapt because otherwise they're going to be sinking, losing money. So DAZN, the sports streaming company, like I said, they've told us that they tried to sell us the selling point that pay-per-view is dead. Well, DAZN is partnering up with cable companies and they offering the fight on pay-per-view. Could you believe that shit? DAZN is offering Canelo versus Callum Smith on DAZN and also on pay-per-view through your local cable provider. You know what I mean? This is crazy to me. It's crazy. It's funny, and it's just hey man, I'm not gonna say it's predictable, but hey man, DAZN gotta do what they gotta do. They gotta recoup. You know what I mean? They have to recoup. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of YouTube channels out here, a lot of them also across the pond, you know what I'm saying, who didn't have DAZN at the time. You could have sworn that they had stocks or shares in DAZN. The way they were trying to convince boxing fans, whether it's their subscribers, whether it's us uploaders, trying to convince us that y'all some dummies paying for pay-per-view. DAZN's the real deal. You get Anthony Joshua and Canelo. Whoop-de-doo. You get Anthony Joshua and Canelo. And Golden Boy's weak-ass stable. You check it? They try to say, yo, y'all some dummies, man. DAZN is $100 for the year, while a pay-per-view card is like $70, $80. Yeah. Well, look who just slapped y'all in the face and said, y'all don't know nothing, man. We gonna do what we want. DAZN just told y'all over there who was trying to convince people that pay-per-view is dead, as long as well as DAZN. Well, they told y'all don't know nothing about business, man, and we gonna do what we want. And this particular fight, Canelo versus Callum Smith, will be offered to customers. They have the option of purchasing through traditional cable providers, and they can watch the whole card, all the undercards and the main event on DAZN or pay-per-view. Now, why wouldn't somebody just buy DAZN for the month, $20? Why wouldn't they convince people? Why wouldn't somebody just buy it for? Sorry about that. I heard some static outside my window, man. I thought fellas was about to bang out. Sorry about that. Yeah, so why wouldn't somebody just buy DAZN for $20 rather than just for the month? You know what I'm saying? And then just have it for the month, and then after the fight, get rid of that shit if they're not gonna pay another $20 or just pay $100 for the whole year. Why would somebody do that rather than just them paying the $70, $69.99 that DAZN is talking about having this fight on pay-per-view for? You know what I mean? You check it. So DAZN's strategy is to partner up with pay-per-view, and this is all despite its criticism coming into the game with their selling point, their marketing point that this is a better option than pay-per-view. Pay-per-view is dead. Remember them commercials with Canelo and Michael Buffer? Right. Now DAZN is in the pay-per-view game. You know what I mean? And DAZN is going to partner up with DirecTV and also other cable providers in the United States. You check it. And like I said, you could buy DAZN for 1 month for $19.99. You could buy it for the whole year subscription for $99.99, which equates to about $8.33. Or you could buy the pay-per-view for $70. Wow, man, you can't make this shit up. Why would you give people the option of buying it for pay-per-view for $70 when they could just buy the app for the whole month for $9.99? Yeah, DAZN, man, DAZN needs they need the subscribers, and if they can't get the subscribers, if people are not buying their app, whether it's monthly or annually, they said let's get into the pay-per-view game. I think it's real hypocrisy on the DAZN part, you know what I mean? And it's very misleading, you know? Now, you know, if you can't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything. If you can't stand on your morals and your laurels talking about, look, pay-per-view is dead, we're going to stick to our business model. And look, in business, you have to adapt. You got to adapt to the times. And pay-per-view ain't never going to be dead. As long as good fights are made, people will buy the pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And all those people who was across the pond, or all those people in the United States who was trying to convince people to buy DAZN because you guys are stupid. You try to say you guys are stupid. You guys are buying pay-per-view. These guys were pocket watching and trying to tell Americans, trying to tell us over here in the United States what to do for entertainment with your hard-earned money. The nerve of these people. Now look at DAZN. DAZN is just straight up bitch slapping them, telling them, man, y'all shut the fuck up. We gonna do what we want, and we gonna put this on pay-per-view for $69.99. And thanks for caping for us. That's what DAZN telling y'all nut ass channels out there who was trying to convince people to buy this DAZN app. You check it. I'm not gonna pay no $9.99, $19.99, $10.99, $100, $70 to watch this fight. It's a bullshit fight to begin with. Yeah, you heard it from me. It's a whack-ass fight. And that's just because of how Canelo is treating the situation, you know. Gave this man a 4-week training camp, you know what I mean? Trying to get him in the ring as quick as he can before he can get mentally and fully trained for this, get prepared for this fight, you know. So DAZN, you have the option. But look, the pros and the cons. The pros, in my opinion, is, look, all the Mexican fans who used to always get it in, or Hispanic fans, let me just broaden it to Hispanic fans. All the Latino fans in the United States who used to have the Cinco de Mayos and Mexican Independence Day weekend parties when Canelo fight, well, now they can do that again. Only because now the fight's not necessarily just on an app. You know, a lot of people probably, I'm sure, are turned off by having to watch boxing on an app. You know what I mean? Whether it's on your TV, you know, because I guess DAZN came into the game thinking, well, a lot of people stream fights, so that means they must be watching it on their laptop, phone, or tablet. Not considering that some people could put all these apps on their smart TV. Okay? Now, with DAZN charging $70, the pros about it is the Mexican or Hispanic fight fan can now just do what they used to usually do. Just find it on the pay-per-view cable provider, just purchase, press OK, purchase, or call on the phone their local cable provider, and they could have the fight for $70. That's the only positive thing about this. Otherwise, DAZN is looking very, very desperate. Desperate that they're actually reneging on their selling points of pay-per-view is dead. How is pay-per-view dead? Well, you're now in the pay-per-view game. Yeah, they probably want to recoup some of this money that they tried to pay, that they have to pay Canelo, because if Canelo is demanded at least a purse of, let's say, $20 million, the opponent has to be paid well too. Okay, If DAZN's not getting enough subscribers in the United States to pay these guys for prize fighting, then they have to get it somehow, some way, you know. DAZN is basically on the motto of get it how you live, you know what I mean? If you can't beat them, join them. And that's what they're doing. They joined the pay-per-view model, and it is what it is. Will I be shelling out any money for this, man? I'm not giving this fight $1. You heard? I will not be giving this fight $1 because Canelo's practices over his tenure over there on DAZN have been disgusting, in my opinion. You know what I mean? This guy was supposed to be the quote-unquote face of boxing. How the F are you the face of boxing when your last fight with Kovalev, you only drew 7,000 people in that MGM or the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas? Tried to convince us that you're going up two, that you're going to be a simultaneously three with different weight class champion holding, and that was a total lie. And that's what why I can't respect a lot of these boxing promote entities. Whether it's ESPN who keep banging the point that Teofimo Lopez is undisputed. If he's undisputed, then what's Devin Haney doing with the WBC belt? You can call it an email belt all you want, but at the end of the day, they need to fight each other in order for the puzzle to be completed, and whoever wins that fight will be undisputed. ESPN tried to take away the victory, tried to say Vasyl Lomachenko was 14-0 at the time when he was really 14-1. You know what I mean? A lot of these entities, they bad news, you know what I mean? They bad news, and they'll say anything to promote a fight or make a fighter look like they're greater than they are just to sell it to y'all. And I'm not a casual, you heard? And I'm going to definitely be on top of my game as far as calling out the double standards and hypocrisy. And this right here is double standards and hypocrisy on DAZN's part, trying to shame all the other people, PBC on Showtime, PBC on Fox, or ESPN Top Rank for their pay-per-view model. Look at Zudo Ramirez. He's going to be back this weekend, I believe on Friday. A lot of people don't even know that he's fighting. He's going to be back in the ring, former 168-pound WBO champion. Man is undefeated. I believe he's like 40-0 right now. Well, he's going to be fighting on a small, obscure pay-per-view. So if pay-per-view is dead, what's Gilberto Zudo Ramirez doing on his own promotional company, Zudo Promotions now? It's no longer with Top Rank, and the guy's about to do his own pay-per-view. Look, as long as boxing has has great fights and two opponents that people want to watch, people will pay. They've been doing that since the late 70s, and ain't nothing going to stop till now, you know what I mean? So DAZN and all of y'all who try to support DAZN and say that you guys are dummies, you guys should buy DAZN because DAZN is not pay-per-view. What you got to say now? You heard? Be Marsh Boxing. Leave your thoughts and comments. I'm gone. Peace.